Morning, Steve here in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, yesterday we had an up move in beans, meal, corn, and wheat. I think each market had its own little fundamentals. In the beans, we tended to test the highs yesterday when word came out that a Chinese vessel had crashed into an Argentina port dock. That's a popular dock for shipping soybean meal out of Argentina. So Argentina already has problems with the lower crop, the lower crush, and now they have this logistic issue that could be at least a month or so to fix. So the video has been passed around. It's a pretty interesting video watching this thing go into the dock. Also, I think in the beans and meal, the trade will be watching to see if there's any export sales today. Been at least 2 weeks now since China has bought any beans from the United States, but the fact that we're selling beans to Argentina might help support the market there. The corn market, I think, was supported by a couple of reasons. Number one, it continues to be dry in Brazil, which could lower their crop and lower their export surplus. And number two, there's talk that farmers might plant a little less corn acres in 2018 than what the intentions had suggested. We are hearing that in Illinois, farmers maybe have planted as much as 25% of the corn crop in the last few days and expect it to continue to hit the ground hard before rains are coming through the area next Monday through Wednesday. And in the wheat, I think there was continued short covering. We saw open interest actually decline yesterday. I think part of that has to do with talk that maybe the Kansas crop is smaller. And that could offer some support into the marketplace. We still have a lot of wheat in the world, but there is some talk that there might be a small decline in world wheat supply and stocks next year, which could trigger a little bit of short covering by the funds. We also note that a lot of noise in Washington. There is a trade group going to China to try to talk about the trade issues there, try to resolve that. That might also be helping the bean market. We also note that there's push by a couple of Republican congressmen to add more waivers in the biofuel situation to reduce refiners blending the biofuels into gas. On the other side of the coin, there's a lot of pushback from farm congressional people that the mandates are what they are, and they help agricultural economy and all the different entities that feed off farmers and the agricultural side of things. So in general, we are looking to see, is there any price here that farmers are selling corn? Feels like we're 10 cents, maybe 15 cents away from getting into prices where farmers might start selling last year's record supply. So in general, we'll be watching the weather, we'll be watching the fund activity, a lot more talk about, when you look at the CRB index, it's making new highs led by crude, and that could be supporting funds coming in and buying commodities. So in general, we'll be watching the fund movement, we'll be watching the weather, we'll be watching Washington, and we'll be watching export sales today. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.